Well, today is International Women's Day, and to celebrate, ANZ Banks announced a new partnership with Chief Executive Women, the group that aims to facilitate getting more Australian women into leadership positions in business, government and the not-for-profit sectors. Well, we're joined now to tell us more about this by Kathleen Bailey-Lord, ANZ Senior Manager for the Asia-Pacific region, and also Christine Christian, the Vice President of Chief Executive Women. Great to have you both here, and happy International Women's Day. Kathleen,
happy International Women's Day to you too.
Good to see. Now, Kathleen, if we could start with you, just tell us about ANZ's role in this partnership. Is it just going to be purely financial support?
No, I hope not. Our role, I think, in this partnership is coming together with an enterprise that is highly reputable. We at ANZ are very committed to getting real change in the number of women in senior roles, and together we think with CEW we can really work on both uncovering the enablers and disablers and doing something about it.
A big part of this will be helping to provide support, but also financial support though?
Absolutely. So we will help fund the research that CEW does into the enablers of women and the disablers to women into senior management.
And Christine, I wanted to ask you about what this funding will mean and what this support will mean for your organisation.
Well, it means a lot. This is a significant amount of funding, and CEW is very appreciative of ANZ's support. We've got such a strong brand, an iconic brand, financially supporting us in our quest. We're a very serious-minded organisation. We're made up of about 250 of the most senior women in Australia, business women in Australia. And it's not just a networking organisation, it's an organisation that is taking its mission very seriously. And to receive the significant funding that we have from ANZ means we can actually accelerate many of our plans.
Kathleen, I wanted to ask you, because I guess the financial sector, you know, it's probably considered one of the toughest for women to get to the top, to get onto boards and into senior roles. You're a group general manager. How did you do it? What's the path to success, do you think?
Well, I think that actually it's hard at one level for men and women, and the first thing that I would say is there's no such thing as being a superwoman. So essentially what I have learned is that it's really important to be clear about what you want, to really get a lot of help around you, mentors, sponsors, the support crew, and outsource housework.
What about children though? Because I mean, there's been so much research done about how difficult it is to combine, you know, work and a family. I know you're a mother. How did you do it?
Yes. Well, it's about being super well organised, and as I say, having help. So I can assure you the diary management that goes on in my house is a supreme art. So being very clear about what needs to be done, who does drop-offs, who's doing pickups, you really plan your whole life very well. That, I think, is one of the most important tickets to success, so that when you're at work you really can focus on the outcomes that are required in the workplace. But to be successful in a senior career also requires getting good quality feedback from mentors who can help and stretch you in your aspirations, and getting help. You can't do it all of the time. It's a team effort.
Christine, just how dire is the situation? What are the statistics, the numbers of number of women in leadership positions in Australia?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it dire, but it is in serious need of attention and focus. Relative to many of the other developed countries, Australia is a laggard. And it's for that reason that CEW has decided to really step up its efforts and help increase the number of and coverage of women in senior leadership roles.
Just looking too, I mean, obviously we've seen the EU move closer to introducing mandatory quotas for the number of women on company boards. Is that something we really do need to consider here?
Well, look, I think we need to consider just about everything. At this point in time, just letting it all happen by osmosis is just not an option anymore. and it's why CEW is really stepping up its efforts, because we can't just sit around and wait for the rest of the business community to recognise that diversity in the workplace does mean increased productivity. There is evidence now, very strong and tangible evidence now that suggests that a more diversified organisation, particularly at the senior level where the key decisions are being made, does have a direct impact on the financial performance of the organisation. So there's no getting around that. So rather than us sitting around and just waiting for this to all change, we've decided now to take some action. And in doing so, we're very grateful to the ANZ support, as well as many other key sponsors that we have. One of the areas that we're very proud of is the amount of sponsorship that we've extended. Year to date, we have extended about $150,000 in sponsorship for young aspiring women to undertake additional education so that they can be a lot more confident in the workplace and far more confident around their decision making. We're stepping up our efforts in lobbying, and most importantly, we are now putting some real dollars into research and thought leadership, so that we no longer have to rely on the rhetoric that has been out there for so long, but we're now starting to accumulate some very good, facts, so that businesses and business leaders can no longer ignore the benefits of a diversified workforce.
Kathleen, just picking up on some of Christine's comments there, confidence, is that pretty crucial here? Do you think that there's a different mindset between men and women, that women are more unlikely to promote themselves, to try and go for positions that are at the top of the food chain?
Well, I think there's a couple of things that make that more possible, and the things that Christine talked about as part of it, and part of it is setting an expectation around the number of women that is expected to be in senior roles. Setting that expectation, such as we have done with Mike Smith, setting a very public target around lifting our representation from 38% to 40%, is critical, because that creates the right questions then, which in turn says, why are we not getting women? It then encourages managers to do extra things like mentor women, invite them to go for roles that they may otherwise not think about going. There is the research that suggests that men who have got somewhere like 10 to 15% of the attributes of a role will put their name in, and a woman needs over 80%. So actually organisations have to adapt to that and do recruitment, mentor women, encourage them to step up, because clearly they're most capable of doing the roles.
Kathleen Bailey, great to speak to you. Kathleen Bailey-Lord from ANZ, and Christian there from Chief Executive Women. Good to talk to you both. Thank you.
Thank you.